The extraordinary restrictions on basic freedoms are in most cases necessary to fight the COVID-19 virus, says Human Rights Watch Executive Director Kenneth Roth.
But sadly, we're also seeing governments that are actually much more focused on using the virus as a pretext to crack down on their critics and to consolidate their power.
In China, the origin of the virus, doctors in Wuhan tried to alert the world to the dangers of the new disease.
And the Chinese authorities, rather than heeding that warning, suppressed it. They censored them. They reprimanded them. And that gave the virus a 3-week disastrous head start, during which time it went global.
In the months since, normal checks on power in country after country have been suspended, warns United Nations Special Rapporteur Agnes Kalamar.
The court have far less power than they used to. Parliaments as well are far weaker under the state of emergency.
In Hungary, Prime Minister Viktor Orban pushed through emergency legislation in March with no time limit.
That basically allows him to rule by decree without any parliamentary oversight. It abandons elections.
Many countries have banned street protests.
If you think about the Algerian military-led government or President Putin in Russia, the Lebanese, the Iraqi governments, Prime Minister Modi in India, these are all governments that were facing big pro-democracy challenges in the streets. For the time being, those protests have to stop. Everybody understands that. But how long will the government maintain rules prohibiting that kind of free assembly just because it's convenient?
Police have been given extra powers to enforce a lockdown. In Kenya, a 13-year-old boy was accidentally shot dead. In Cape Town, police evicted dozens of migrants from a church. Footage emerged of police in India spraying migrant workers with disinfectant.
In the name of saving as many lives as possible, we are going to put the life of the most vulnerable groups at greater risk. History tells us that those moments are moments where police powers is likely to be abused.
The September 11th, 2001 terror attacks on the United States are a case in point, says Roth.
That too was a moment in which people were fearful. They asked governments to protect them, and many governments, rather than doing what was really necessary to protect them, seized all kinds of extraordinary powers that it took a long, long time to relinquish.
For now, restrictions on our freedom are accepted as necessary weapons in fighting COVID-19. The fear is those restrictions could far outlive the disease itself. Henry Ridgwell for VOA News, London.